Have you ever had one of those ideas that's so fuzzy, so new, you can't even spell it right? Well, today we're going to break down this amazing conversation that shows how a blurry spark of an idea can turn into a super detailed, actionable plan for building a digital world. It's all about having the right creative partner. So let's just dive right in and see how this thing unfolded.
You know, every great project, whether it's a song, a book, or in this case, a video game map, it always starts right here, with a simple prompt. It's that call to adventure, that moment you have an idea, but you're not totally sure what it is yet.
And this is it. This is where our story kicks off. Not with some perfectly written technical query, but with this WAMO dataset. Yeah, it's misspelled, the grammar's a little wonky, but that core idea, it's in there. The creator is looking for something specific from Google, and this is the first little clue they've dropped.
Okay, now this is where the AI steps in and becomes this kind of trusty guide. Instead of getting hung up on the typo, it figures out the intent. It immediately sees WAMO and thinks, they mean Waymo. And just like that, it gives us a clear definition. We find out the Waymo Open Dataset is this public goldmine of sensor data from Google's self-driving cars. Suddenly, the path forward is getting a whole lot clearer.
So, with that main goal figured out, our creator is ready to get into the details. They're not just after any data. They want the specifics. You know, the little things that make a world actually feel real, like curbs and sidewalks, the actual surfaces a player is going to walk on.
And the dataset delivers. This is what's so cool. It reveals all the raw building blocks for our digital world. The AI confirms that, yep, the data has labels for all this essential stuff. Curbs, roads, sidewalks, even speed bumps. These are the literal puzzle pieces you need to build a believable street.
But here's where a really good guide becomes so valuable. The AI doesn't just give you the good news. It gives you some critical warnings. It says, hey, listen, this data was made for cars, not for video game textures. That means the detail isn't perfect, the file formats are tricky, and you're not going to get text from street signs. This is huge for managing expectations and saving a ton of headaches later on.
All right, so now that our creator knows what they're working with, the good and the limitations, they're ready for a test run. They ask for a script, an actual piece of code to turn all this data into a 2D game map of a real-life place, Upper Haight in San Francisco.
And this is just a beautiful illustration of the AI's power to create a plan. It lays out this perfectly clear 4-step process. First, you define the area. Second, you grab the data with a tool called OsmNX. Third, you convert it all into a format that a game could understand. And fourth, you save it. It's the perfect little roadmap for this first part of the mission.
And of course, you can't go on a mission like this without the right gear. So here's the creator's toolkit. Python is the foundation, and then you've got these specific libraries like GeoPandas, OSMX, and Matplotlib to actually handle the map data and, make it visual.
And there it is, the first big win. The script works, and the output is a real thing you can see, Upper Haight GameMap.png. It's a simple 2D map, sure, but it's the proof of concept. It shows you the walkable areas, the buildings, the parks. That fuzzy idea is now a tangible, visible thing. Pretty cool.
You know how it is. You get that first taste of success, and suddenly you're feeling ambitious. So with the 2D map in the bag, the creator decides it's time to level up. The next request is way bigger. A full-blown workflow for building a 3D world, one that works with big-time game engines like Unity and Three.js.
So the AI comes back with another plan. This one's more advanced, but it's still beautifully structured in these 4 stages. First, get more data, not just footprints, but elevation too. Then process all that into 3D models. After that, import them into your game engine. And finally, add the gameplay stuff like collision detection so you don't walk through walls. This is the master blueprint.
Now, I think this part is really cool. The guide gives the creator a strategic choice, like a fork in the road. For Unity, you've got 2 main paths. You can pre-generate all your 3D models, which is simpler but static, or you can import the map data dynamically, which is more complex but way more flexible. There's no single right answer, just the one that's best for your project. And to make that choice even easier, the AI points to some seriously powerful tools that already exist. You can think of these as magic items that speed up the whole process. Tools like Unity City Generator or Cesium for Unity can do a ton of the heavy lifting for you, like procedurally generating stuff or even streaming real-world 3D data right into your game. Okay, so let's just pull back for a second and think about what we just saw. This was way more than just a technical Q&A session. What we've really been watching is a new kind of creative partnership taking shape, a whole new way to build something. And that's really the heart of it. In just one single back-and-forth conversation, we went from a misspelled two-word idea to a complete, detailed development plan for a 3D game world. A plan that came with code, tool suggestions, and even strategic advice. The efficiency here is just, wow.
So this whole journey leaves us with a pretty exciting thought, doesn't it? The wall between a creative idea and an actual creation is getting shorter and shorter every single day. So the real question for all of us is this. When building a whole world becomes as simple as just having a conversation, what worlds are you going to create?